Welcome to this Bible study for the Reach campaign, Reach North Georgia. This lesson is Ruth, Love Like Ruth. My friend Elena is joining us. Hi, Elena. What's wrong, Elena? My dad lost his job. Oh, I'm so sorry, Elena. You know, there's a lot you can do for him right now. Like what? Well, you can love like Ruth. Let's talk about Ruth. Okay, so Ruth lived in Moab, and this was far away from Israel. And a lady named Naomi came to Moab and with her husband, and she also had two sons. Her two sons married, and one of them married Ruth. Now, there was a bad famine, and people were dying, and as it came to be, Ruth lost her husband. Oh, that's so sad. Well, yes, it is. And Ruth lost her husband. Oh, that's so sad. And Naomi's other son died too. Oh, now I don't feel so bad. Well, during this time, Naomi decided to go home. She was from Israel, so she went home. And she told Ruth and Orpah, who was the other of her son's wives, and she said, "Go home. There's no need for you to come with me." And Orpah decided to go home, but Naomi said, "Don't make me leave you. I love you, and I'm going to be with you, and your home will be my home, and your God will be my God." And that's what she told her. So Ruth went with Naomi, and guess what? Ruth showed love to Naomi. Well, how'd she do that? Well, Ruth showed love by working hard. She would work. She would get up early in the morning and she would go to the fields and she would get the grain from the fields. Oh, wow, that was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And when she'd go to the fields, she'd get the grain. And then after all that hard work of gathering the grain and gathering it up into a bag, she would then take it home and she would grind it in mills and work hard even more. Wow, that was a lot of work. She would work and work and work. And then, after she got the flour, guess what? What? Then she would bake bread with it so that she and Naomi could eat. Wow, that was a lot. But guess what? It worked out good for Ruth because the place where she went to work, the field where she was, turned out to be a field of belonging to a man named Boaz. Wow, who is he? Well, Boaz was a relative of Naomi, and under Jewish law, he could claim to marry a relative of Naomi. Very complicated, their culture. Anyway, so he did. He chose to marry Ruth, and he and Ruth had a child, and guess what? That child is the great, lots of greats, grandparent of Jesus. Now, isn't that cool that we have this story of love, this love that Ruth showed Naomi? She wasn't related to Naomi, not by blood. She was just married into the family, and yet she chose to love Naomi. Now, Elena, you could show love to your dad during this time. You know, there are things going on in your house right now that it's a lot of stress. And you could help by helping around the house. You could be quiet while your daddy is making phone calls because he's going to be looking for another job and he's got to make phone calls. Well, I can do that. I can be really quiet. I'm good at it, see? I bet you are, Elena. So there are some things we can do to be active in our love and showing love to others. And we can do a lot to help them. So Ruth loved Naomi during difficult times, and we can show love to our family during difficult times too, can't we? Some of you may be doing schoolwork at home, and this may not be normal for you, but you can do your schoolwork without complaining, and that'll help your moms out too, won't it? Or your dads. So there's a lot of things you can do right now. I want you to sit down and think about the things that you can do to show love, okay? And our craft today, here's what I thought we'd do. You could cut out a heart, and you could write on the heart, look up in your Bible in the book of Ruth, and find Ruth's words to Naomi. And you could copy those words out. Or you could just put your own words of love that you want to write to somebody. And you could give it to somebody, and this could be a way you show love. Maybe you want to fold it up and put it in an envelope and mail it to somebody, and that would cheer them up during this time. Mail it to a grandparent, maybe. Okay? So there are some good things you can do during this time to love like Ruth. Thanks for joining us.